Okay, so I realized whilst recording the instructional videos for Wibble that they ended up being more than 3 hours, which is great in terms of a comprehensive set of videos, but it definitely highlighted the need for a kind of Wibble too long didn't watch TLDW, I should say, and so that's the purpose of this video. So I'm basically going to blaze through all of the commands, or most of them anyway, with minimal explanation, just as a demonstration of how to use it, and hopefully this whole video won't have me rambling on for too long. So let's get to it. So the very first thing to do, assuming you have a working Wibble installation, is to obviously set up your database and get things rolling. So we do Wibble init, we say yes. Now rip grep is the kind of recommended minimal kind of requirement. You can install GNU rec utils as well, but really rip grep is what you want, and then optionally install rec utils. Anyway, less explanation and on we go. So main Wibble directory, we're going to have documents Wibble. I'm going to keep the backup directory document, so backup Wibble. Terminal editor command, I'm going to keep that with Vim. GUI editor command on this virtual machine, I'm going to set it to leafpad for demonstration here. PC man FM, because I'm demonstrating this in LXDE. X archiver, and we'll leave the temporary directory location under the suggested default temp. So do we want to write this configuration file out? Yes, we do. Okay, so that is now set up and we're good to go. So as the command suggests there, the first thing to do is actually create a node. So let's clear this. Right, Wibble create. So let's go with, I don't know, foo, text. They're the two absolutely bare minimum requirements for setting up a node. I'm going to skip all the other metadata, no key pairs, nothing. Bang, that creates a node. This is node foo. Wonderful. Right, quit. So as you can see there, it's basically set up a brand new database, set up the archive database, inserted the node, and that's our first node inserted. Let's insert another one. We'll create, and this time I'll demonstrate doing it from an existing file. So let me just show you the content of such a file. So let's go. So we have this text file just with some content there, so you can create a node immediately from an existing file. So we will create from file, example files, some file.txt. We'll call this one bar. We'll set the file type to text again, some bar file, and again we'll default for the purposes of the demonstration here, just quickly skip through these. So very minimal metadata on these, we're not making use of all the extended fields there, and that has been inserted. If we look at our Wibble store, which has been initialized under documents Wibble, and do a quick tree of the nodes, we can see that we have those two nodes. They are both of type text, and because we didn't input any project, they both default to general, so that is going to be our hierarchy. We'll create one more just as a kind of demonstration. So let's do, I don't know, Wibble create and file C, file type markdown for a change. Skip through these again. Yes, we'll add a key pair. Key is priority, value is high, let's say. So we'll keep it at that. Create new node, yes. This is a markdown file. Lovely. Some content here. Great, that's that done. Again, we'll just show the effect on that structure. So we have a markdown file there under general and with text. So that's basically how you create notes. There are the ability to create them from schema and templates, but look at the documentation or watch the extended video for that. Okay, so we've created some notes. So how do we actually find notes? So if we do a Wibble help search, that shows us all of the information about the search command. But let's basically demonstrate retrieving all of them. Wibble search everything, and we can open up any particular note immediately, like so. That's our markdown file. We can do Wibble search title bar, and it opens up the file bar which was made from the contents of that file that we have under, can you show that again, under here. So that's basically the searching on a basic level. We can do a menu search if you want to interactively search for all the fields. So I'm going to not search on date, I'm going to search for title foo, I'm going to leave the note ID, description, I'm going to search for a file type text. All of this should match only one note, and indeed it does. So that's the searching of that one. Moving files to and from the archive. So at the moment, if I just cat the contents of that database, we can see that our notes are stored in this main database here, which is why if I show everything again, they all appear here. Now, if I want to move a file from the main database to the archive database, I can just basically find the file. So let's do foo and to archive. And that has now moved it into the archive database, because if I search the main database, you can see it's no longer there. If I now search the archive database, you can see that foo is instead there. So that's how you move files to and from the archive, or to the archive. So to move it from the archive, we do an archive search and title foo from archive. That has now moved it out of the archive, which we can verify by searching all of the notes. I should type that in archived, and as you can see, there's nothing there. But now if we search the non-archive, the main database, foo is back in there. So that's how you move notes to and from the archive. Adding data. So if we do Wibble search, let's say title bar add data. And what are we going to attach? We're can do either a file or a directory here, but I'm going to attach the example files. I'm going to use that text file again, but this time as an attachment. I'm going to copy it, confirm, and that has now associated that data and set up a note data directory or an attachment directory for that file, which we can show by doing, here we go, that is the contents of that data directory, and we can open it using our file manager, and there is some file. So that's how we open, add and open the data directory, add data to a note and open the data directory. We can add linked files. So for example, if we do again using bar note, if we add linked, why is it not doing that? If we do y, add link example files, so I'm going to link the entire directory. That is now linked, and so if I do a list linked, again there's only the one associated, but it's this one, and again if I type that, it'll open it using xdg open as the default file action, which, because it's a inode stroke directory, means it opens it as a directory. So that's how you basically add data and add linked files, and basically use that for storing all of your associated kind of project materials. One of the things we might frequently need is the ID of a note, so Wibble search whatever your filtering command is. So I'm going to search on title and search for bar, and just tell me the ID only, and it pops that out. So you can obviously use that in scripts and automation purposes, or if you just need the ID for other commands such as bookmarking. So we do a bookmark by doing Wibble bookmark add. No bookmark file, initialized it as we expect. I need to enter at least the minimal amount of the note IDs to guarantee a unique match. So in this case I can simply do 5fcb, and that should be plenty. It asks me, do I want to create a bookmark to this note? Yes I do. Done. Now if I do Wibble bookmark this, we can see it's there. open, and we can open our bookmarks there, or I can simply pass in the number and it opens it up immediately. So that's the bookmark command. We can add another one just to demonstrate this further. If I do, let's say, show me the metadata for title foo, or I could have just decided to tell it to show me the ID because that's all I really care about. But anyway, we can see the full metadata of the record here, and we know that foo has 9b22 blah 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 blah. So again, if I do Wibble bookmark add 9b221f, do I want to add that? Yes, I do. And then we show open, and we can select 2, and it opens that up immediately. So that's how you use the bookmark facility. Quick notes. So let's create a quick note. Wibble quick note add. No quick note, no default quick note file present, so it's initialized a new one. Demonstration of Wibble as quickly as possible. This is a quick note section. Let's add another quick note to that. Another section. This is some more material. And we'll add another section. In fact, one thing I'm going to do, if I go to my config file that we set up using init, and I'm just going to tell the editor, because I'm using Vim, this should basically guarantee I'm always at the end of the file, which is handy for most things. One final section, and here we go. Oops, there we go. So we have 3 sections there. Now if I do Wibble quick note list, you can see the 3 sections there. If I want to view a particular section, let's view segment 2, dumps that out to screen. If I want to edit the entire file, I can just do edit, and that's kind of quick note. Oh, and delete. I want to delete section 2, delete that. Yes, I do want to type. Definitely do want to delete that. And now if we do a list again, we're down to 2 sections, and another section has disappeared. So that's quick notes. The Wibble journal is almost exactly the same, almost identical. The only difference is it's missing any deletion facility, just to protect yourself from yourself. My journal for today, whatever today's date is, 29th of November, whatever, and some other interesting thing, did X at Y, thinking about P, whatever that is, and as you can see, it basically works exactly the same. Interesting recipe for cake. This is a section about cake in my journal. Both journal and quick notes support any number of files. If you don't want to use the default one, simply pass in file, my let's say exercise log, add workout 29th of 2023, ran 600 miles because I'm amazing. There we go. Workout 30th of 2023. Slept 18 hours after 600 mile run. And that is the exercise log files, completely separate from the default journal file. So that works exactly the same both for quick note and journal. The only thing journal doesn't have is no deletion facility, deliberately so. And your quick notes are stored under quick notes, and your journals are stored under journal. So that's quick notes and journal. What else? Tasks. So the world's simplest literally the world's simplest task management. Oh my god, it's not as powerful. It can't do 1,000,001 things like Task Warrior can or Org Mode can. No, it cannot. That's absolutely totally fine, because the beauty of it is really, I just wanted a command line list that I can simply add to and remove from. And if I have some complex task management needs, then I will in fact create a org mode file and use all of its incredibly wonderful, detailed task management capabilities. Or if I really need it, use some project management software with all the Gantt charts and all that sort of thing. I just wanted literally a super fast list. So let's look at that. Wibble task add, demonstrate in a super fast video usage of Wibble. Let's say demonstrate adding more than one task in video. Great. And now we can do mark 2 is complete and 1 is complete. So all of our pending tasks are done, and if we list that, there's no active tasks, no live tasks, but we can see the completed ones if we wish there. So that's the task management. Just simply add and mark them as done. We have the tool facilities. So this allows us to display, for example, in a rapid, just a simple list, all of the file titles, for example. So we have these 3 wonderfully interesting notes: bar, file C, and foo. We have no tags. So let's demonstrate. I'm not sure if I demonstrated anything in the metadata. I don't think so. So let's edit the metadata so that we actually add some tags to one of these. So if I do Wibble search, edit MD, title, foo. I'll leave that the same. Tags, foo, not bar, beer, and sleep. Always good. There we go. Apply changes. Let's edit one of the other ones. Bar. So we'll say. Skipped past tags, so let me cancel that. If you press Control C, you can always cancel a command. Good to know. Let's say, so this was bar, and not foo, beer, always good, and sleep, something like that, who knows. You can see the data dirds is already pre-populated because this is the file that we added the associated data with. Apply changes, yes, I'm happy with that. Now if we go back to our tags listing, we've got some more interesting results there. 2 notes have the tag beer, 2 have the note sleep, so that's always good, and 1 foo, 1 bar, and 1 not foo and 1 not bar. So that's kind of demonstrating the tool's ability to just give you a nicely ordered list of the tags and using tags. We have the statistics. Whoops, that's I'm demonstrating some. Let me cancel that. I hit the wrong one. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Statistics, sorry, is Z, and there we go. We have 12K in the main notes. Wow, whole 12 kilobytes. Note data storage 8 kilobytes, and you know, a bunch of other stats here. So we don't have any archived ones because we moved one note to the archive and then moved it back out. So that's the stats. The aliases. Yeah, let's show that. So the idea is pick a short prefix. Default is wib, so let's leave that, and it generates all of these bash aliases here. The idea is you stick that file, copy this into a file somewhere and source it into your bash environment, which if I show you here, I've already done that. And if I open that with LeafPad, so if I show you the effect of that, source, example files, wibble.bash. Now everything is quickly available as alias, so I can do wib search text searching all of the fields, nothing. Okay, I should have done wib search file type text, and we have two labeled with the file type txt because one was a markdown file. Skip that. Let's also, you can see that it's indicating there is a data directory because this note has data and attachments. Let's show that markdown file we know we have one of, and because there's only one of, it opens it automatically. So essentially you have a whole bunch of aliases here that the idea is you just type your prefix and then you can hammer your tab to kind of complete. So, you know, quick note add, and we're into adding another quick note. Here we are again. Okay, so that's the ability to add aliases, and one of the kind of features of Tool. All of which, if we start using this in earnest and we end up with hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or 100,000, which by the way is no problem at all. If you want more than 100k notes, 500,000 notes, believe me, it works pretty damn fast even with 500,000 notes using ripgrep. The most important thing is clearly you want to have a backup. So if we do Wibble backup, it will default to backup into your no action specified. Yes, thank you. So Wibble backup and tell it to actually do a backup, and it has done that. Which, if we look in our documents, where was it? Just show you the graphical file manager. We can see the tar xed file there, and everything is completely backed up for us there. Note, however, it has not backed up the note data directory. Let me show you that. So documents, Wibble, note data. So that was the note that we added a bunch of the file attachment to. So you can obviously arbitrarily add as much data as you want to a note, or add an entire project. You know, you could have a source code folder with 10,000 files in there if you wanted, or you could add 20 gigabytes of video files. But the point is, by default, the backup command just backs up your notes, the metadata, basically everything except the note data, because the presumption is in the note data you may have gigabytes and gigabytes of files over time. If you want to do a full backup, then surprise, surprise, you run the command full backup. And now, if we look at the resultant created full backup, you'll see that note data now exists, and our wonderful sumfile.txt is there. And oh, and by the way, there's the kind of linked files is just a secret hidden file, so you can basically use things like find to basically dump a set of paths append into this file, and just one line per file or one line per directory, and then you can access it from that quick linked files list. See the full video if you want a greater explanation, more in-depth explanation I should say. What are we? Batch. So the batch command allows us, unsurprisingly, to create a command basically fully non-interactively. So obviously the idea is you do not type this, it's more designed for use with scripts and such like. So here's an example. Creates this one with my amazing note, tremendous description. So let's just paste that in, and if we now do a search for everything, we can see that my amazing note is there, and it has, again, our wonderful sumfile.content, because if we bring that example up, you will see it was using it from file, and that text file that we keep reusing as a demonstration purpose. For demonstration purposes, if I remove the auto off here, this last argument, you can make it ask for confirmation. Do you want to insert this note with this? So I'm going to say no. So you can always use that if you don't want to make it completely and fully automatic. So that is basically a rapid fire in a probably more than a couple of minutes, but hopefully pretty short summary of all of the kind of core usage of the features. I haven't really covered some of the more kind of subtle details, like using schemas and templates and things. Watch the full videos with the full explanations, or just read the documentation. There will be ample written documentation, and that will explain how to use that. And by the way, the bash aliases also have some handy other ones here to kind of copy data dirs and copy note paths straight onto your system clipboard, so you can easily copy and paste it into other applications. I've got a bunch of other shell scripts as well that help integrate things. Anyway, enough rambling from me. That's a quick tour of Wibble and how to use all the fundamental commands. Thank you.